Do you ever
Yes,
have you ever had poutine? Do you like
I
poutine?
have, and I do not like poutine.
Ah,
And I feel like I've had it enough times that I can go, blech, this is not for me. I don't care who makes it. I don't like cheese curds. I don't. The problem is I'm not really a French fry person, you know.
Oh, okay, yeah,
So
and
if
it's
that's the base of the
that's the
food,
base. Exactly.
why?
Exactly.
And then gravy. What kind of gravy is it? It's meat gravy. That doesn't help me.
Yeah, I
I
don't
need
know.
more specifics than that.
I think it's beef.
But yeah, but it's beef question mark.
Yeah, beef.
Maybe it's beef.
Beef. It could be
Maybe it's
moose. We don't
bison.
know.
Yeah, could be beaver. It could
Squirrel.
be. We don't know.
It's true. It's meat. That's exactly.
Right. Right. Some sort of meat.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. This is Willfully Funny, formerly known as Shooting the Breeze. And today's bonus episode, my guest is Shelly Colman. She's a comedian based out of Brooklyn, New York, and she will be one of the participants, one of the performers at this year's Black Women in Comedy Laugh Festival that's being held June 14th through 18th in New York City. So welcome to the show, Shelly.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Before we continue, can you give us your social media so that people can follow you and find out where you'll be performing?
Sure. My Instagram. Okay, let me think about this for a second. Instagram is at awfully snippy,
Okay.
and that is also my Twitter thing. Um, but on Facebook, it's that Shelly Coleman. Now,
Okay.
the reason there's two different things. There's a story, of course. I had a friend whose grandmother was a very cranky old lady, and when I met her, I thought, okay, well, we're all the whole family is sarcastic and all this. So I was just myself around her, which apparently I wasn't supposed to be. I didn't know that. I was supposed to be polite and demure and all that. But I found this out after the fact because my friend John told me afterwards that when they said, "Hey, Nana, what did you think of our friend?" She said, "She's awfully snippy, that Shelly." So that became my nickname with my friends. I was that Shelly. And so unfortunately I couldn't get that Shelly on Twitter because at the time somebody else had it. And so I chose Awfully Snippy, and then that's how it became Awfully Snippy and that Shelly. And that's my story, and I'm sticking with it.
That's funny. So
But then
welcome.
thank
Sorry.
you. Oh wait, the second part of that story is when my friend John was so he figured, okay, well, that's how we're going to talk about me. So he was making fun of me or something about how what a pain in the ass I am, and his grandmother goes, "I think she's lovely." So there was just no winning. There was no winning with this.
That's too much.
Yeah. Anyway, so you were saying,
Oh, I was just gonna say welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. And have you been to this festival before?
yeah, this is my, I want to say third time, but possibly fourth. I don't remember because I'm a million years old and I have no memory anymore. But I was in the first one. I know Joanna, the woman who started it. I know her from just being around Brooklyn and doing comedy with her. Um, and when I found out she was doing this, I went, oh yeah, okay, absolutely have to be part of it. So I think I was in the first two, and then not last year, or maybe it was, I don't remember. This is my either third or fourth time,
Okay, okay. So you've pretty much been there from the start.
more or less. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
that's awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome. This will be my first year
That's great.
going. So
Great.
I'm very,
I'm
very
glad we're getting
exciting.
international.
Yes, yes. As I know last year there were two women from Canada. I happen
Really?
to know them. They live in Toronto, which is about 4 hours southwest of where I
Yeah.
am. And it was Sabrina Douglas and Keisha Brownie.
Okay.
They were there last year, both hilarious, hysterically funny. So,
So you're in Ottawa, is that right?
pardon me?
You're in Ottawa, is that right?
I'm in Ottawa, yes.
I love Ottawa.
Oh, yeah, you've been here before. Okay.
Yeah, I used to, let's see, I used to take winter vacations because I'm really not a summer person. And I thought, where can I go that's going to be a lot of fun in the winter? And I found out about Winterlude, and I went,
Yes.
that's for me. So I went like every year for probably 8 or 9 years. And
Wow.
while I wasn't skating, I was just sort of, walking around and learning about Ottawa. I met some people who were part of the Ottawa Swing Dance Society, which I don't know if it even exists anymore.
Mm.
And I would go to dances every time I was there. And then I also went to Absolute Comedy,
Oh,
and
yes.
met I can't remember his name because it's been a while since I was there, but the guy who was I think he was either the owner or the manager. Jason, is that his
Yes,
name?
Jason Lawrence, he's the owner.
Jason, yes, yeah,
Yes.
Jason Lawrence. I met him, and I did some pro-am shows there a couple of times, and some mics and whatnot. So yeah, I have very warm feelings, no pun intended, toward Ottawa.
Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, I perform at Absolute quite a bit.
Yeah.
I'm performing there next week, actually.
Oh,
Next
nice.
Tuesday, yeah,
Yeah.
for a showcase. And I
Okay.
know Jason well. And yeah, with winter this year, the canal didn't open.
I heard that, and it
Yeah.
was so crazy because I was actually thinking, I'm totally broke. I have no money. I haven't gone on a vacation in so many years. But I was thinking, man, I really want to get away. I really want, maybe I'll go back to Ottawa. And I decided, no, 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 Shelly, that's stupid. Pay off your credit card bills first. And then I saw online that the canal didn't open, and it was okay.
Yeah.
Saved me some money. I mean,
Yes.
it's a drag that that it's that warm there, but
Yeah,
you know,
exactly. It didn't like there we did have some cold days, but it wasn't enough to freeze it over. Like I haven't been in Ottawa that long. I've been in Ottawa for 4 years
yeah. Hmm.
now. And yeah, I moved like the year before COVID.
Oh wow.
You know? So like 2019, I know I was still finding my bearings and stuff.
Hmm.
And then 2020 was 2020.
Right. Yeah.
Nothing was open, nothing was happening. And I finally went. It was, I think, January, February of 22.
Hmm.
Like it was open because again, there were times that it wasn't open, or
Hmm.
parts of it, I should say,
Right.
weren't frozen enough. But
Yeah.
it I think it opened a little bit later. But my friend and I went, and it was like the coldest day of the year. It was like minus 40 uh
Yeah.
Celsius. I
Oh
don't know
boy.
what that is in Fahrenheit,
Neither
but
do I. But if if the ice
it's
is
cold.
frozen, that's cold.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Ice was frozen, and we froze to death. We skated to like a shack that was selling hot chocolate, drank our
Yeah.
hot chocolate, and then skated back to the car. We're like, yeah, we're not dilly dallying or meandering. It's too
Oh
cold for
man.
that, you know.
I
But yeah, it
love
didn't
this
open
stuff.
at all this year. It didn't
Yeah.
open at all.
That worries me. I mean, I
Yeah,
loved it. I uh, my favorite thing to eat in Ottawa is a beaver tail, a Kilolo sunrise beaver tail. I love those. It was like I would
they're
get on
so
the
good.
plane from LaGuardia and I'm salivating for a beaver tail. In fact, right now I'm salivating for a beaver tail.
Yeah, beaver tails are good.
Oh man,
Yeah.
there's
So
yeah.
it's fried dough
Yeah.
with, and you can have all kinds of toppings. I like the one with like just the plain one with cinnamon and
Yeah.
lemon squeezed on. But yeah,
Yeah.
they can be
Yeah.
as elaborate and fancy as you like.
I think that's what they call this, the Kilolo sunrise. I just remember it had lemon.
Yeah, maybe that's the, is it that one? Or
Uh,
I don't
it's been a
know.
while. It's been a while.
And there's so many flavors. So there could
Yeah.
be the one with lemon that has a little extra, but the one I have is just like plain, like there's
Oh,
nothing else on it. But
it's
it's
so good. Oh
delicious.
man.
Delicious. Do you ever
Yes.
have you ever had poutine? Do you like
I
poutine?
have, and I do not like poutine.
Ah, okay.
I have been to. I mean, I'm obviously not a world traveler, but I mean, I've spent some time in Toronto, and I went to Montreal one weekend, and I feel like I've had it enough times that I can go, blech, this is not for me. I don't care who makes it. I don't like cheese curds. I don't. The problem is I'm not really a French fry person, you know.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
So if that's the base of the
that's the
food,
base. Exactly.
why?
Exactly. Yeah, if you're not into the base, then yeah,
Right,
it's not going to be enjoyable for you
right,
at
right.
all.
And then gravy. What kind of gravy is it? It's meat gravy. That doesn't help me.
Yeah, I
I
don't
need
know.
more specifics than that.
I think it's beef.
But yeah, but it's beef question mark.
Yeah, beef.
Maybe it's beef.
Beef. It could
Maybe
be
it's
moose. We don't
bison.
know. Like
Yeah, it could be beaver. It could be.
squirrel.
We don't
Beaver.
know.
It's true. It's meat. That's
Right,
exactly.
right. It's some sort of meat gravy. And the same thing. There was. I remember the first time I went into. I can't remember the name of the restaurant, but I went to a restaurant. It was famous for its smoked meat, and I went, "Oh, what kind of meat?" And I didn't get an answer. Like they couldn't tell me what kind of. Well, wait a minute. Who's doing this? Somebody's got you guys over a barrel. I don't know what's happening here.
Because I've never thought, what is smoked meat though?
Exactly.
Like, what animal
Exactly.
does it come from? I'm gonna Google. I'm gonna Google. Wait,
Maybe,
where
I
does
don't know.
smoked meat come from?
Maybe it
Because I
comes from
never
like.
thought about it.
How could you not though? It's a generic. It's like saying I don't know fruit. We're gonna have a piece of fruit. What kind of fruit? It's just fruit.
It's just fruit.
It's a fruit. Trust me, it's fruit. It's a fruit shake. What's in it? Fruit. Okay.
Even this is not saying anything. Or
What?
should say, okay, I'm saying what is okay, I maybe it's my question. I'll be what kind of meat? What kind of meat is smoked meat? What kind of meat is smoked meat? Okay, so you're saying it's made with brisket. What the fuck is
Okay.
brisket?
I
Like
think that's
that?
beef. I think that's automatically beef. I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
What
that's
part of
what.
the animal is smoked meat?
No, 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 don't ask that. That you don't want to know. As long as you know
Beef.
it's coming from a cow, just leave it
Yes, I
alone.
think it's from a cow because it's saying, yeah, beef, breast beef,
Okay.
brisket. Yeah, it's saying brisket.
Okay.
There's one here that says, "Is Montreal smoked meat horse meat?" It's
See,
like, no, it's not.
I'm not the only one to wonder.
I just ate it. I just eat it. It's delicious. I didn't even think. I just assumed it was like a cow or a pig or
Uh-huh.
not horse. Never even
Or something.
or some other meaty animal. That's too funny.
Snowy owl. That's what it's made from. Or some other like endangered thing. It's orca.
Smoked orca. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh my goodness. So, in terms of comedy, how long have you been doing stand up?
Oh dear. Uh okay, this the short answer is I started before you were born.
You'd
How
be
old are you?
surprised. We're probably around the same age. I'm 56.
Oh, okay. Well, it wasn't before you were born. It was when you were a child.
Okay, when
Uh,
I was a child.
yeah,
Okay.
I started in the 1980s when it was all rolled up sleeves and brick walls,
Ah.
and and I didn't really get very far with it um, for various reasons. And then I just stopped one day because I was like, I can't get a laugh. I'm just not funny anymore, and I don't know what happened. And then life happened, and big problem was I started dating somebody, and that's always a mistake because it like took over my life, and that lasted about 3 years longer than it should have.
Mm, been there.
It was a 3.5 year relationship. It should have been like 4 months. Um, anyway, so but then like other things happened, like some family issues and whatnot, and I had a full-time job, and I just didn't do it. But I never really gave up because, like I said, when I would travel, I would do mics or like pro-am shows or whatever. I've done some um, in Denver and Seattle, San Francisco, various cities, Chicago. Um, And so I never really completely stopped, but about maybe 10 years ago ish, I went, you know what? I'm going to try it again because it's what I've always wanted to do. So why
Mhm.
not do it? And
Yeah.
also, the statute of limitations is running out. I'm not going to be around all that long. So if I'm going to do it, I better do it now.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what it was like for me as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So,
It's been a
but
while.
okay. So you had stopped, I guess maybe just doing it consistently, but you would do it when you would travel and things
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. I
Okay.
wouldn't do it here because, well, like I said, there were other things going on in my life. I was working full time. I had some family stuff I had to take care of. And also, I just didn't have I just gotten so tired of open mic culture, I guess, for lack of a better word, because it was the same, 20-year-old white guys. It's still 20-year-old white guys,
Yeah.
but at that point, I don't care,
Gatekeepers. Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
It was the same jokes and it was the same kind of thing, and I just didn't have the wherewithal to do it. And that's why I was so pleased that Joanna Briley decided to start this, because she had kind of the same reaction. It was kind of like, this is not my reality. This is a whole different group of people who are dealing. I can't even really explain it. It's 20-year-old white guys, and we can't relate to that. I
Yeah.
mean, as Black people, as women over the age of 30.
Yeah.
Um, so I think that was a large part of why I stopped doing it too. I was just tired of all of them, and it's not that they were bad people. Some of them were.
Hmm. Yeah, some, of course. But yeah, I know what you mean. I
No,
know what you mean.
I can't be bothered with you anymore.
Because like, I haven't been doing it that long, but in the short time that I've been in the Ottawa community, like, the face of stand up is changing.
Good.
The face of stand up is changing, that it's like, more women are coming out. We still don't have a lot of women. There, I think active women in the Ottawa community were maybe six active
Really?
women. It's very, very, very few of us are
Yeah.
active in a fairly, like, we're not a big city. We're not like Toronto or New York or anything like that, but
Mhm.
we're a decent sized community. And there are very few women, very few women of color.
Yeah.
So most times when I go to a show, I'm either the only woman on the show, and more likely the only Black woman or woman of color for miles. What I mean? It's just like, just me.
Diversify. Where can we find one? There she is.
Yeah, there she is. There's the one, like that. But
Yeah.
I think there's, at least here, I find there's an appetite for different perspectives.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I think people are going to comedy shows and stuff like that to hear different points of view, to hear a different perspective, not, to hear the perspective of someone who's not white, someone who's not a man, someone who's over a certain age. I think audiences are more open
Good. Good.
to that,
I
which
remember
is
the
which
last
is
time
good.
I was there, the pro on the show, this guy named Sugar Sammy, I think was his name.
Yes, he's based out of Montreal. Yes.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, he was there, and I think it was him and me. That was the only color on that stage. And I mean, look at me. When I'm the color, come on.
Yeah, I don't know Sugar Sammy. I know his brother. His brother produces a lot of shows in Montreal. I
Oh,
was on a show with him, I think it was last summer,
mhm.
because he had been in France for a number of years. Because
Wow.
he does stand up in both languages. Like, his
Oh,
shows are bilingual.
right,
He could do it in French, he could do it in English,
right.
which is awesome.
Yeah.
So I met him once, but I know his brother a little bit better just because I've dealt with his brother a little
Mm,
more.
mm,
Um, but yeah, yeah. So I'm glad to see that the face of it is it's starting to change.
right.
Um, but it's still pretty gatekeepery.
I imagine so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still very gatekeeper. And so what's really cool is like people with the same mindset as Joanna is like, okay, well, you're not gonna let us sit at this table. I'm gonna make my own table.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
gonna build and create my own table. You're welcome at my table, but we're creating this table for us, sort of
Right.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of that, I find a lot of that is happening. We have more women producers,
That's the key.
which is huge,
Yeah.
We have more women producers,
I
and
used
they
to,
seek out more diversity just in
yeah,
general.
yeah, that's cool, right? Yeah.
Very cool, very cool.
I used to run a
Very
show in my neighborhood. Actually ran it for 7 years. It was a monthly show. And it was because New York is such a huge comedy community, you can't really swing a cat without hitting a comic,
cool.
a cat. And so it was always easy to get comics to be on the show, but it was really hard to get audience, and we stopped March of 2020 because of the pandemic shutdown. And my co-producer, and I use that term loosely, asked me if we were going to start up again, and I said, you know what? I don't know, because it's a lot of work for very little return. It was like in the first we were in a movie theater that shut down, and then it was in the back of a cafe that shut down.
Oh wow.
Yeah, if the third time if we'd shut something else down, I would have taken it personally. But this other restaurant that has a sports bar attached to it, and I wanted to use. They have a back room in the restaurant, and I wanted to use that. But the manager said no. I'd have to hire a server, and you'd have to be able to guarantee me X number of people
Mm,
to make it worth the hire, so to speak. So they put us in the sports bar, and I appreciate his support, but it was like that's ambush comedy. People go in there to watch sports and
yeah.
drink, and eat whatever wings and things, and then we come in and we go, hey, we're doing a comedy show, and they don't want that.
They're
They
like,
want
yeah,
they
where
want
you
to
have to
watch
turn
the
the
game.
TVs off, and they're like, I came to watch the game, or I didn't come here to watch you.
Yeah, exactly. And also, the bar itself is not set up for performance. And a lot of a lot of people who start their own show, who produce a show, don't really have that sort of theatrical background. I used to be an actor, sort of, but I know a lot about stagecraft and like
Mhm.
audiences and all kinds. I just know that because of my background. So when I walk into a place and I go, okay, everybody is facing all different ways. There's no focal point. You're going to put us by the door, so anybody who walks in is going to be coming past us, and we all
Yeah,
no,
walking across your stage, literally. Yeah,
and there is no actual stage. It's just a small area. And I mean, again, I got to give this guy props, the manager props, because he was really nice and he set up a light hanging from the ceiling, and that's fine, but that's not how you do a show. Um, that if it had been an open mic, that would have been a different matter. Really, not so much though, because it would still have been in the bar, and people would
hmm,
still would have wanted to watch sports and eat
yeah.
wings. The wings are very good, by the way. It's Park Plaza restaurant on Cadman Plaza West. Really good wings. Um, so after the things started to reopen, I thought, you know what? I don't think I want to do that anymore. Um, I People would always say, "Oh, how come you don't advertise?" Because I don't have any money.
Yeah,
I would do
it
flyers.
costs money. Yeah.
Absolutely, I would do flyers and put them up in the neighborhood, and I had a website for it, and I had a Facebook page, and I had a separate email account with a mailing list, and it didn't help. If we got 9 people, it was a big thing. And then we'd put a bucket out, so because I wanted to give the comics at least uh, uh, car fare,
Yeah.
transportation. and I would end up paying for that out of my pocket too. So much as
Mhm.
I like hosting, and I do, and by the way, I am hosting a show during the festival.
Oh,
Um,
good. Good, good.
yeah, it's called locally sourced comedy. It's going to be
Oh,
all comedy
nice.
from 5 boroughs.
Oh, nice, nice.
Um, anyway, so much as I enjoyed that, I just had to. I have to put my energy where it's going to be most uh,
Mhm.
effective, efficient,
Yeah.
back some
Yeah,
return.
payoff and yeah,
Yeah,
and a
yeah, and
return.
need some payoff, and not pay out, as it were.
Right, right. Because yeah, it could be draining if, especially if you want to pay the comics,
Hmm.
advertising, all of that.
Right,
Um,
right.
at some point, if you don't have the numbers, the advertising, all the costs are the same, whether you have numbers or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I
Yeah.
do.
And otherwise that comes out of your pocket if it doesn't come
And it
from your
did.
ticket sales. Yeah.
Right, right. And
Yeah.
so, I mean, we didn't even say there was no door. There were no ticket sales. It was just basically pass the bucket at the end of the show.
Mm.
Because a lot of shows here, bar shows and whatnot, do that because they can't really. Like I said, there's no stage. There's no actual show set up. So the bar manager or owner will usually just say, "Yeah, well, you can use the space and you can pass the bucket or not if you whatever you want to do." Um, but it's really hard to make any money that way,
Yeah.
especially especially when you're doing it in a space where people didn't come to see you.
Yeah, exactly. It's a
So these are
different
all
thing
my
if it was advertised and it's like nothing else is going on that night.
yes,
It's
yes,
not you're not going there to watch the Stanley Cup playoffs
right,
because
exactly,
there's a comedy show going on. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
true. That
exactly.
makes a big difference.
Or the NBA Finals or the World
Mhm.
Series or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
New York,
soccer or whatever. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, even that we even have people here who watch that.
Yeah, yeah, here too in World Cup. I think it's called the World Cup. I don't watch it. But yeah, like I'm always aware of that. Like, yeah, because a lot of indie shows are held in like bars or restaurants and stuff like
Right.
that.
Yeah,
And yeah, sometimes like you said, the term is accurate, the comedy ambush comedy.
yeah,
Where people are like, what's going on? It's like
yeah.
we're comedy like
We're
this.
doing a comedy show, yeah.
And they're
And
like,
people
oh.
do. You can't blame them.
Mhm.
That's not what I came out here for. I
Yeah.
didn't. You're interrupting me now.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I totally get it. But
Yeah. Because I've seen people sit politely, and
yeah,
then like when the person finishes, that they like scurry out
right,
because they're
exactly,
they're like, when's the appropriate
right,
time to leave, and
exactly,
bless them that they wait till at least the comic is done.
right,
When the host is going back up and the comic's leaving,
mhm,
that's when they
right,
slip out,
right.
you
Instead
know.
of going, this is boy,
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah, 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 yeah,
doing that too.
yeah. Yeah, I came here to watch the bowling finals. Like this. The dart championships. Like what is this?
Or God forbid golf, because shh, I'm watching golf.
Exactly.
I don't understand why the people who are commentating on golf have to be so quiet. I mean, this is not new, a new thought, but it's nobody's ever explained it to me.
And
They're
they're far. They're not, it's not
yeah,
like they're right next to the guy.
yeah, exactly.
And he's talking in normal tone, like you don't have to scream. Because they're not on the green.
No, no. Woods is coming to the fourth tee. What?
Yeah, because they're in a designated spot because
Yes,
they're not
exactly.
following them all along the course.
No,
If
no,
they
they're
were
not.
following them around the course, okay, whisper because
Yes,
this whole
exactly.
TV crew behind them like this with their desk and everything. They've got
Unbelievable.
their own cushy spot
Yes, yes.
and monitors to see where everything is. They could talk at a
Right.
normal at a normal pace. You know.
But if that's going on in the bar, forget it. Forget it. You got nobody's attention. What? Maybe, actually, maybe that's what we should have done. We should have just done all of our jokes in a whisper.
In whisper, exactly. Force them to listen.
Oh man.
Oh my
Is this
goodness.
no? Is this going to be your first time in New York? No, you tell me that you've been here before, right? You've been in New York before.
I've been in New York before. The last time I was in New York was fall of 2013.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
wow.
so it's been a while. It's been a while. And I went with a few friends and we stayed at a place. I can't remember the name of the hotel, but it was right next to Ground Zero,
Oh
like the
wow.
museum and everything.
Yeah.
I was there
Yeah.
for a weekend.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was, I think, October or November of 2013. So it's been a while. It's been
Did
a
you go to the
while.
museum?
No, I didn't get to go. I had bought a ticket,
Yeah.
but then I got lost. I had gone exploring and I got lost, and I could, by the time I got back, I missed my ticket time.
Now, see, this is funny to me because I know how small that area of Manhattan is. And like you probably were within 2 blocks of wherever you needed to
Yeah.
be at all times. But if you make a left instead of a right, it's like all these buildings look alike. How the hell do
Yeah,
I know?
because I got lost a couple of times.
Yeah.
Like I would get my way, find my way to whatever destination. So
Uh,
I don't remember the streets or anything, but I wanted to go to the Empire State Building. I
right.
got there. It was coming back to the hotel that I was lost for about 30, 40 minutes. Because I remember I got out at whatever subway station,
Right.
and like you said, I yinged when I should have yanged. And I ended up walking and I'm like, nothing looks familiar here, and then I had to ask people
Right.
stuff. And
Right.
it ended up I was like 2 blocks away.
Yeah.
But I had walked like so I really wanted to go to the museum, and I missed the time that I was supposed to go just because I got lost.
Yeah. To my surprise, there are still long lines. I mean, I'm not there every day because I don't work near there, but anytime I'm in that neighborhood, I'm always surprised that the line is so long. And I mean, I
Okay.
guess that's good that people are still
Yeah.
interested. They still want to
Hmm.
know. They still want to see
Hmm.
what
It
happened.
blows my mind that it's over 20 years
I know.
already. It
Yeah,
doesn't feel like it's that long, but it's what, 23 years, 22 years.
22 years. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
or going on 22 years. Yeah.
supposedly adult people who were born after it, who don't know, who didn't
Hmm.
time before 9/11/01.
Yeah.
That's hard to
Yeah.
grasp.
Yeah, exactly. And the time just is just like whipping by,
Yes, and
because it was 1 year, then 10 years, now it's like over 20 years. And it's like,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. But that's how
wow.
you know we're both old.
Yes. Exactly. So I remember every day I was what, 32 when it happened.
Mm.
So, yeah, I was like 31, 32 when it
Hmm.
happened. Yeah. Yeah. And I
Yeah,
had family in New York at that time. Well,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
Oof.
Hmm. Yeah. Because one of my mother's sisters, worked in the World Trade Center when it
Really?
was bombed in 93.
Oh yes.
And she was like, I'm out of here. And she left. Like, she was so traumatized because she had to walk down like 75 flights of stairs. And it was just a
Crap.
horrible experience for her. She was just traumatized.
I don't blame her.
And yeah, and she just left New York altogether.
Wow.
And so when 9/11 happened, my sister and I worked at the same company, and she called me and she was like, does Auntie Hazel still work in the World Trade Center? And I was like, no, she's in Atlanta now. And I was like, why? And she's like, a plane hit. And
Yeah.
I'm thinking like a little propeller plane sort of thing. Somebody lost it. Yeah. But
Yeah.
but I found out later that another cousin didn't go to work that day. And
Oh.
yeah, she didn't, for whatever reason. I can't remember the reasoning, but didn't get to work or didn't go that day.
Yeah.
And she most likely would have been killed if she had gone.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just, yeah.
And that kind of thing is what I was saying before about there are people who are alive and out of college who didn't ever know a time before that,
Yeah.
which is weird to me and
Yeah.
quite
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah, that anything they know about it is just what they've read or what they've been told, or archival footage. It's like they didn't experience
Right.
all the everything, because I was in another country and I remember freaking out, just like
Oh yeah. It
what's
was
happening.
it was one of the most bizarre days I've
Hmm.
lived through, and I've lived through a lot. A
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, like that
Anyway,
was yeah, that was a wild, 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 wild.
yeah.
So yeah, so I was in the hotel nearby, but I didn't
Uh-huh.
get to go because I got lost like 2 blocks away. You
Okay.
know?
So
But I
so
did
when
have fun when I was there. I
oh
really
good,
enjoyed it. I really
good.
enjoyed it.
So when you come back, we're gonna have to put a bell on you or a GPS or something so that we
GPS.
always know where you are.
Exactly.
Somebody go get Simone.
an, an antenna or something.
It's not far. She's just 2 blocks away. Just go get her. Somebody go get her.
Exactly. Because one of my best friends is coming with me, so hopefully he has a better sense of direction than I do. But
We
yeah,
police
once
report. Yeah,
yeah,
you
because
can
once
Canadians
once we
wandering
have like
around.
the schedules and stuff, and I'll know like where I'm performing, I'll be able to like triangulate and
Yes,
stuff
yes.
like this, or at
Plot
least tell my
every
aunt,
step.
let my aunt know, okay, these are the places I'll be. Like, how do I
Yeah.
get there? Like this? What do we do? Like,
Oh boy. I
are
think
the shows, the times that you've participated, like are the events well attended?
yes, yes, there was, let's see. Yeah, it was a smaller event the first and second years. So they were smaller venues. In other words, there's one place where the opening show is going to be. It's called Littlefield, and it's a theater actually not too far from where I live now. Uh, that has you know big comics come in and they fill up and all that. And but at the time, it was more like we were talking about before, like bars and backroom restaurants and stuff. So yes, those
Mhm.
were very well attended. Also, it was a novelty at the time. Black Women in Comedy Festival. Um, but yeah, they were. They were. I don't. In fact, I can't remember. I don't think there were any shows that I did that weren't at least half full.
Okay.
I did hear from one of the comics who was in it last year that uh, she I think she was hosting one and was considering canceling it because there was nobody there but comics.
Oh.
So I suppose as you're dealing with growing an event, you're going to have to deal with stuff like
Mhm.
that. But my guess, because it's been around for a while and there's more press involved or more press about it, I'm not real worried about attendance.
Okay. Okay.
So
Yeah, because I have no idea what to expect. It's just the people that I know. Like I know Ama Marfo. We'll be meeting for the first time in person, but we've known each other for a couple of years now because we met online, like in Zoom shows and
uh,
stuff over the
uh,
course of the pandemic. So there are a few women I know by name and know from pandemic that I'll be meeting for the first time.
right.
And she swears by it. I think she's an OG. I think she's been there for every single one.
Yeah.
And she sings its praises. Like she's like, I'm so glad you're coming. You're gonna have such a great time. And
Yeah.
I'm so excited to
Yeah.
be part of it this year.
And if you have some free time, you can get lost in your family building.
Yes, yes, yes. Because I know my aunt lived in Brooklyn, but I think it was Beverly Avenue or something like that. But
Beverly Road, I know where that is.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember going there as a kid.
Yeah.
Going there, and like I remember for some reason like the 70s, and I remember like the blackout, and I remember like Son of Sam, everything like Summer of Sam or whatever. Like all these crazy things.
Or planes crashing into buildings. We went every day.
Everything regular occurrences, you know. But yeah, I am looking forward to that. And I have I have some friends that are there that want to come to shows and all of that. So I know that there's a possibility that we could be on like one show and then have to leave and go to another show right after. So I just need to get the schedule so I could say, okay, I'm at these two shows, but from this show I've got to go to that show. So you could choose which one you want to be at.
And have dinner or something before the first show, and then watch my dust as I run off to the next.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Just a trail of fire behind me as I take off to go to the next place, you know. But yeah, like I have no idea. I have no sense of, you know, are like, is it walking distance between them? Do you have to take an Uber? Can you take a bus? Like, no idea.
There's a whole bunch of. I mean, I haven't seen the finalized schedule either.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that some of the venues are closer together and some of them are a little further apart,
Yeah.
and just the nature of the beast. Because
Mm-hmm.
I think Joanna was talking about next year when she does it. She's already planning next year. This crazy woman.
Yes.
Location, like maybe Littlefield, which is where the opening show is going to be tonight. I mean, not tonight, this year. But at this point, she's whatever venues she can get.
Yes. Yes.
Like I said, there's so much comedy around here. It's tough to find some place where they'll go, yeah, sure, bring in more comedy, and we'll turn off the television.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because also New York City, yeah, it's a lot of comedy happening there. Like,
Yeah,
because I was talking to a comic from there. I think this was in December. Met them in Toronto, and I think he said at one point the most shows he's done in one night was like 6.
Wow.
I was like, what? I'm like, woo, if I have 2, like, let alone 6. Yeah, and he was like, that doesn't happen often. He's like, but one time, he's like, I took it as a challenge. He's like, it nearly broke me.
Yeah. And monetarily, because if you have to take, if you take Ubers or you have to get on the subway's comparatively inexpensive compared to a car, of course.
Right.
Or trips here, there, and everywhere. Yeah, that can rack up some dough.
For sure.
So,
but I was like, what?
Pay off your credit cards before you get here.
Yeah, exactly. You need to have space on your credit cards and stuff, because you never know. Exactly.
So, show tonight.
Tonight it's an independent show at a restaurant on one of the university's campuses here.
Fun.
I've done it before. I've done it a couple of times, but this particular show is for people doing showcases.
Okay.
Because we're doing Just for Laughs showcases over the next
nice
next 2 weeks, starting next week. So it's preference was given to those comics who are doing a showcase set. So it'll be me and a few other. It'll be a pretty strong show, since we're all showcasing at I think 1 or 2 people are showcasing the same night I am at the same club, and a few others are because they're 4 clubs, no, 3 clubs, 3 club names, but like 5 physical clubs. Like, one club has 3 locations.
That's Absolute
here. No, that's Yuck Yucks has 3.
Yes.
Absolute has a club here and one in Toronto. They used to have one in Kingston, but that one closed last year.
Oh,
I'm doing my showcase at Absolute
oh, cool.
next week, and then there's another club called Laugh Lounge, and
Oh,
yeah,
I was gonna
that
say
one's
that's
fairly new.
not really
Yeah,
new.
yeah. Laugh Lounge opened about a year and a half ago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
and it's in the Byward Market. In
Oh,
the
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yes. I know that place fairly
yeah.
well. It's fairly well. It's probably all different because it's been years since I was there. Which college are you going to be performing at? What school?
University of Ottawa.
And where's that? I mean, you can tell me streets. I remember street names.
Okay, this place is on Somerset.
Okay.
It's
Nice.
Somerset off. What's the closest? It's near the river. It's near the canal, near Colonel By.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
Okay.
just yeah, it's off Colonel By, on the campus of University of Ottawa.
Great. I'll be there. I wish.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's tonight. I was supposed to do a show there a few months ago, I think, but I was trying to remember why I didn't make it. Yeah, I wasn't able to go, but I don't
Because you
remember why. Because what?
golf.
Yes, I was watching golf. Exactly. I was watching golf for sure, for sure.
I don't
So
remember.
we've covered that this is your third or fourth time at the festival, that you've been doing comedy for a while.
Hmm.
And okay, that's related to that because you said you had stopped for a little bit and now you've got started back. How long ago did you get started back?
That was about 10 years ago. And
Okay.
I mean, I've had some. I'm happy to say, if I can just pat myself on the back for a minute, had some pretty nice successes. Like there's not a festival. It's a competition called Ladies of Laughter, National Ladies of Laughter competition, and I won the newcomer level of that. It's newcomer and pro levels in 2014.
Oh, that's awesome.
And yeah, it was. I actually got paid to do I couldn't believe it. Um, and then I did Boston Comedy Festival 2 years ago, and I was a finalist in that, which is cool. And then this past December, I did another women's festival called the Ladies Room, and that was in New York City, and I won that one. So I'm going, yay! Look at me, I'm a winner. And then I don't work for 2 months.
Yeah, I've heard of Ladies Room. I've heard of that one.
Huh.
And I one day I'd like to apply to that one and see if
Yeah,
I can get into that one.
I think Ladies of Laughter. Uh, if I were recommending one, that's what I would do because, like I said, there's two different tiers. There's newcomers, and essentially that's for people who haven't made any money as a comic but have been performing for a while. And I mean, like not like $10, $15, but been paid to do a show. And then there's the pro division, and the pro level is people like there's a woman named Leanne Lord. Oh, I cannot think of Alicia Cooper won the same year that I did. She won the pro level, and she's out in LA now. She's writing scripts, and she directed a film, and she performs in uh, Comedy Store. And I think that one, maybe because it's been around longer, or because it's got that two-tier thing,
Hmm.
is a better bet if you can only do one.
Okay.
If you had to choose, excuse me, between the Ladies' Room and Ladies of Laughter, I would say pick Ladies of Laughter. If you can do both,
Okay. Right. Awesome.
yeah,
Awesome. Awesome. Because I think a friend of mine has done one of those two.
right,
Um, but I don't remember which one. But she's done one of
yeah,
those two, and I've I remember seeing like posts about it on Facebook.
hmm,
So
yeah,
yeah, yeah. And yeah, but the thing is, like, as a Canadian, like, I have to be careful going into the States,
exactly.
you know.
You're saying you could only do one. That's the one I would refer. But
Hmm.
I mean, if you can do both, absolutely.
Right, right,
And of course,
right.
I say this as someone who can't. I was going to go to a mic tonight, but it's a $12 cover. I know that's crazy. I said I can't do that. I don't have $12 for a mic. So And plus, I
Yeah.
have this really cool podcast I'm doing. So,
But that's a lot though. That's a lot.
oh,
That's a lot to pay to perform. Yeah.
yes, exactly. I
Yeah.
mean, they call it a 2 drink minimum, but I mean, realistically, you're paying. And if you don't get the 2 drinks, you can't perform. So
Oh
call it what you
wow.
like. It's $12.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't have shows like that here.
Ugh,
We don't do
that's
shows
so much
like
more
that here.
civilized.
Like
I
it's
don't.
encouraged, like if you like the place I'm going tonight, they
Mhm.
encourage the comics to, eat something, buy something to drink,
Right.
something to drink, something to eat, like support
Sure.
the venue.
That makes
But
sense.
it's not a condition of, like, if you're booked on the show, you're booked on the show. It's not a
Right.
condition of performing.
Well, let me clarify. If it's a show, if you're booked on a show, you don't have to pay. But if it's an open mic, then you do.
Oh,
And
okay.
they make that excuse me, they make that distinction here.
Okay. Yeah, I think here I think we use the term open mic differently
Uh-huh.
here, because an open mic would be um practic pretty much anything that's not at a club, at a comedy club,
Hmm.
or not you're not selling tickets for people to come.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the difference that we use here.
Excuse me.
That it's usually free or bucket is passed around. But
Right.
if somebody has to go to like Eventbrite or wherever and buy a ticket,
Yeah.
that's a show, whether it's at a club or some other kind of venue. I think
Okay.
that's the difference. Sure.
Excuse me. I'm having the trees are killing me here. We had rain all weekend, so the trees are just blossoming and
Yes, we had a
flowering,
lot of rain here too on the weekend,
and
heavy
as a
rain.
result,
Yeah.
I can't breathe.
It's like pollen.
Exactly. Exactly. The trees are very happy, and they're trying to kill me.
Exactly.
Ugh.
Okay. Well, thank you so much
Oh, you're
for
welcome.
taking the time to talk to me today.
My
And I
pleasure.
look forward to meeting you
Yeah,
in
we're gonna have to see
uh
it in
in
person.
June. And
And I can be one of the people who has who listens for your bell if you like.
yes, yes, yes. He'll be one of the people who'll be like, I'm on my way. Like if I'm not there in 20 minutes, send help, sort of thing. Put out a search party for me. Ping my
The,
phone or something.
the designated Simone team. I can do that. Plus, you'll only ever be no more than like 3 blocks away from wherever you're trying to be. So it'll be easy.
Exactly.
It'll
It'll
be
be easy to find me. Easy
yeah.
to find me for
Thank you.
sure. So thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
And so Shelly and I will be at the Black Women in Comedy Laugh Festival
Right.
in New York City from June 14th to 18th.
Hmm.
Tickets are on sale
Right.
at the moment. They went on sale yesterday, May 1st. And so go to the website. I'll put it in the show notes. And the website is BWICLAFFFest.com. It'll
Right.
it'll be it'll be in the show notes. It'll be a lot easier. But
Right. How many F's
that's
was that?
yeah, it's actually 3 F's. So it's BWICALACL. Okay. B BWICAFFF fest.com. There are 3 F's in it.
Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah, click the link. That's the way it's
Exactly.
going to
That's
be.
what you do. Click the link. So much easier.
Yeah, so tickets will be on sale. Tickets are on sale there.
Quite sad.
That's the place to go to get your tickets. So,
Right.
so I will see you in June.
Yes, you will, and we will
And
see you out there.
yes, we'll see the podcast world out
Yes.
there later as well. So
Okay.
thank you again, Shelly.
It's my
And
pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
thanks everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.